Hey, this is Russell from Artisan Cutlery, and I'm here with Zach. Thanks for coming by, man. We have some really sweet models this year. We have some new designer items, some new budget models, some new experimental pieces. So let's see, where should we start? All right, let's start on this end. So, if you saw the Hyperion that we released at Blade West last year, that was kind of our larger, kind of a Lanny/Barlow style blade. So we decided to make a small version of that knife. And I think this really just, this is a really slick looking gentleman's knife. It went from being almost like a combat-y Bowie to this really nice, elegant piece. And we really wanted to kind of keep the spirit of a traditional American knife, so we put a fuller on here so you can actually do a two-hand open. Both sides of this are carbon fiber. And then we have the custom clip designed by Daryl Caston. Whole knife is by Daryl Caston, by the way, not just the clip. And this is actually our first bolster lock, so see that's actually sunk right there, and the frame goes under the carbon fiber. So that is the small Hyperion, really nice. God, that feels really good in hand. That's so just elegant. I love that. All right, so Hyperion, small. Number 2, name is TBD on this guy, but this is a new design by Dirk Pinkerton. This is very much a tactical folder. Dirk wanted a tactical. We're like, yeah, we're going to do a tactical. So he calls this a handle minimized knife. So pretty much, you see, I got small hands, kind of like small, medium-sized hands. And for me, this fits very comfortably in my hand, just kind of squeezing it like this. It's got this really aggressive upswept Tonto blade. It's got jimping internally on this side, and then jimping here as well. So if you're bearing down the knife like this, you get a really solid grip. And if you're reverse gripping it, same thing. You get grip right here. So that's just a really cool feature of this guy, but I kind of want to hand this to you. Can I hand this to you right now with the camera? Here. Let's see. We'll make it work. Just give that a good grip in your hand. How's that feel?
It fits. I got large glove side hands.
I know, right?
So.
The craziest thing is I've handed this knife to so many people at this show, and some guys with tiny, tiny hands like Dylan and me, and some guys with some serious meat hooks. Everyone says it's comfortable. I don't know what kind of black magic Dirk did with this thing, but Dirk made a handle that fits everyone's hand. It's so good. And just, even if you're doing a full fist grip, or you're doing a thumb up grip, this is just a really locks into your hand kind of knife. So we're gonna do a few adjustments on this guy. There's a few little tweaks we gotta do, but so far this is about what it's gonna look like. We love the size. We love this isn't a huge knife. We love this is a very usable knife. And as a tactical knife, God, this thing is just, that Tonto is wicked. Oh my God, look at that. Ooh, so that, name to be determined, but new design by Dirk Pinkerton. All right, this is one of my favorites. So, we collaborated with Ray Laconico for the first time to bring out the Centauri. And this is our first front flipper. Look at that, I love how this looks. So it's a full carbon fiber scale on one side, a micro mill titanium on the other side with a contoured clip, blind screwed into the frame, just keep it really clean. Slip that guy back over. It's that signature chamfer. We actually engrave Ray Laconico's name into the spine rather than do the typical on the back spacer. Instead of doing the typical spine placement, because we actually changed his original design to put jimping all the way up this knife. So this thing just sits in the hand so nicely. Oh, and just for comparison, look how thin that stock is. This thing is an absolute lightsaber with how wide the blade is and how thin the grind is. It's super slicey and it's super lightweight. Here, I'm gonna take your hand off the camera again. Just see how light that is. For a knife that big and that wide.
What's the weight on it? 2.5, 3 ounces or something?
I think it's barely pushing it's just a tad over 3. Don't quote me on that one, but it's light. It is very light. And it's so just nice in the hand.
It is.
God, and the flipper action is just so good. Man, God, I love this thing. So, Ray Laconico, collaboration with Ray Laconico. He's such a good guy. He's been an absolute pleasure to work with. And he has just been so good through the process, really giving good feedback, giving good advice. And this thing I am almost positive is going to be one of the biggest knives we have for the entire year. So that's the Centauri. So next, new design by Dylan Mallory. This is our first true slip joint.
Uh-oh.
And look at how small this guy is. It weighs just absolutely nothing, but really great, kind of a utility drop point blade. Fits in the hand really comfortably. Just nice thin stock. And we're actually doing this one in 14C28N. instead of our usual D2. Just a little departure. We're going to see how it works. So far, the reception has been really good. And people,
price point on that hasn't been determined yet?
We're looking around the $60 range, so $60, $70 range, depending on the scales and materials. This one has our gray-blue G10. And just where that position, that choil is right there. So if this happens to have a problem, it goes on the finger before it goes on to anything else.
Like that.
Just really nice. I mean, even for me, I'm not really a slip joint guy myself. Like, I own plenty of non-locking knives, but I rarely carry slip joints. I would carry this. Like, this just drops in the pocket and it's done. This is so light, so easy to carry, so comfortable, and so small that this just gets thrown in somewhere and you have it whenever you need it. It takes up no space. There's just no trouble here, and it feels good and it looks good. So, good job, Dylan. Great job, man. Woo-hoo. Hear that, Dylan? Good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dylan. So, this is an in-house design. We do not have a name on this one yet, but this is about 3 years in the works. I'm not sure if you saw the 1822 at Blade West. I'm sure we had it there, but we've been trying our best to get a proprietary lock made. And we've tried a bunch of styles, a bunch of different ways to do it, and we finally settled on the way to make this a accessible, practical, and very much like just a really good lock. So, on top of that, there's no name for either for the lock or the knife, but the 1822, this is a flipper with a nice, I love the shape of the blade, like that kind of Bowie clip point style blade with a big flipper, fairly slim handle. It's, I think the thing I've heard the most is it's very artisan. It is very much like our style, a little futuristic, little over the top, a little bit excessive, but very much a user.
And how's that lock activated?
So, here we go. So check this out. This is actually one 3D machine piece of titanium. It's set in with a spring, so the spring is actually housed in here, and this mechanism is all cut out, and the action is familiar to most because it, pull down on both sides, actuates like that. But you could also pull down on one side. Oh boy, there we go, got it.
Nice.
Hard on camera, actuates like that. Pull down, there we go, actuates like that. You can press on the top of it right here, on top of that ramp, closes like that.
Wow.
I like that one the most actually. Or if you really are doing this, if you're using it and you want to unlock it while it's in the hand, while your fingers are there, it's not the safest method, but the nice thing about this is we included an oversized flipper tab to ensure that it doesn't fall on your fingers. If you want to manually release it like this, once you let go of the lock, the blade's now stiff. You can't really just, you have to really put some force behind it to move
fall
it.
shut on your fingers.
Exactly. But that way, if I want to drop it like this, I can close it with my other finger.
Intentional.
Or if you really want to close it a little bit, you can just pull down and just let it fly. Just let the whole thing drop. There we go. There we go.
Nice.
Let's do that again. Boom. Done. It's a really neat lock. It doesn't feel out of the ordinary. It doesn't feel like something totally new, but the way this is constructed and the way that it allows you to open and close this knife so quickly in multiple fashions, because there aren't a lot of locks that can do that. Mm-hmm. Not a lot that'll let you essentially use any part of this to move the mechanism comfortably. And I don't know a lot that actually reinforce the lock as you push on it. So if your finger's in the right position where it's on top of the lock, this reinforces that stop pin and ensures that this knife is not going anywhere.
Almost a little ramp on there too.
Yeah, that's actually intentional because we originally had it flat, and it just didn't work well because if someone slid up on the blade and slid back, it was too easy to accidentally disengage the lock. So we figured, okay, let's put the ramp there. One, it provides a positive grip, and two, it ensures that your thumb doesn't just slide right over and just go down. If you do that, it's intentional. You have to, if you're using your knife like this, and you're way up here, it's like, okay, fine. But if you're doing this with your knife, there are better ways to use a knife at this size and length.
Yeah.
If you're holding it here, you are reinforcing the lock and making it stronger, and it performs great. On top of that, we made sure we had an opening hole as well as a flipper. We made a chamfer right here, so if you want to do a two-handed open, you can. You can flick it, you can snap it, you can thumb open it. It is like the most option-heavy knife out there. And it's been 3 years in the works. We're finally getting there. We just have a couple final tweaks to do on this knife, and then it will be good to go for the market. And it is just such a cool piece. All right, so that's the 1822, named TBD. But along with this model, we've done a CGRB version with the same lock. So this is actually a steel piece, and we kind of reduced some of the housing of it. We've changed up the design a little bit. It's still the same mechanism, just kind of reduced. So this one, same thing. One finger on the top, 2 fingers on the finger, etc. You can do all the same thing, but at a knife that is probably, we're hopefully going to keep this under $60. So this has all the versatility of the other one in a much more budget-friendly package.
That's great.
It's a great work. D2 on this guy. On this one, S35 and M390 hopefully. But this one's we're gonna stick with D2 on this guy. Hey, you want to try that out?
Yeah, definitely.
Here, actually, let's give you the nice one. Give that a shot.
So smooth.
It is. It's got a really the lock doesn't apply pressure to the blade like you would with a frame lock, so it really does have this nice kick to it. And honestly, I'm surprised because these guys have been getting snapped around all show, and they're no blade play, no lock rock, no nothing. They're doing great.
Excellent.
So yeah, so those two are kind of the set of the show. Now, we have 2 kind of experimental models here. So you saw this one earlier. Actually, let's do this guy. Another Dylan Mallard design. This is the Archeo. Now, you've seen this from last year. We have all sorts of variants of it. We have the large, we have the small, we have tie, we have not tie, we have G10, we have the contoured G10 ones. We have so many variants of this knife. So it's a great knife. We like it. The boss likes it. So we decided to do one more. And I think we actually cranked these out like 2 weeks before the show. I didn't even know about them when I saw them, but there's something a little different about this guy. Just a little bit different. Yeah. Well, it's got a tie clip. This one has contour G10, tie clip, tie backspacer, and one thing's missing. What's missing?
Liner lock.
Yeah, there's no lock on it. This is a non-locking version of the Archeo. So
Nice.
false free. It's on a double ball D10, so it actually has a nice positive click to it with just enough hole to ensure that unless you're like smacking it on things, you'll be fine. But the great thing about this is it has a really nice fidget factor. You can just kind of,
All right.
I always miss that second one. But look at that. It's just so smooth. And it's got this really positive clack to it. It's just a very satisfying knife, but it's kind of going to be good for the European market. This is more accessible to people who cannot carry a locking knife.
And what's that blade going on there?
That's actually Damascus. So we had a bit of scrap Damascus lying around, so we put it on here. I think it was just an opportunity we had, but I think it looks pretty great. Now, one more thing though. You notice this little lanyard back here? So there's a little tiny steel pin here.
Okay.
And there's that little hole right there.
Uh-oh.
So you can just take that, slide that in there, pops into place, and now the knife is coincidentally locked. The lock is impeded. Now, legality in Europe, I mean, if you're caught with something like this that is locked in place, well, it's close to a fixed blade now.
Yeah.
But if you just happen to do a task where you want your knife locked, put the pin in, do the task, pull the pin out, close the knife up, you're good to go. So that it's a simple solution to a slightly more complex problem.
Okay.
Now, on top of the Archeo, we also did a version of the Cutlass. Same thing. And we like this one because it has that choil right there. So pretty much if you're holding here, it's, you unlock it, it's not going anywhere. But this one is just really comfortable in the hand. Now, we actually don't have a G10 model of the Cutlass yet. So this is the first time you're going to see anything like this. But this one turned out really nice. And it just, again, super accessible action, really snappy. If you want to do a two-hand, you can. You want to do a two-handed open premiere, it totally works. But we're just trying this out. We're kind of testing the waters on these non-locking knives to see how
Price reasonable too.
We're not even sure of the price. Like these, we finished these a couple weeks ago, but they're cool. They're interesting and they're different. Here, just try it out. Try the action. They're just really snappy and fun. Yeah, it feels good. It just feels really nice. And hopefully we can reach a wider audience and get more people into our stuff and have more people enjoy what Artisan has to offer. That'll be great. And if we can kind of branch out to the European and Asian market, I think this will have some impact. I'm really excited. In SHOT Show, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Some people are into it. Some people are like, well, why bother? Just buy the locking one. You know what? We'll see how it goes.
I like that.
But I think they're really cool.
Cool.
There we go. So yeah.
When do you expect to see some of these out on market?
So the Centauri is already out. It came out about 2 days ago, or actually 2 days before SHOT. So just ready to go.
Okay.
Problem is we sold out really fast. So we're going to get them back on the line after the Chinese New Year's holiday.
Okay.
That one's out. We expect this one to be coming out soon. I can't give you an exact date, but soon. Same with the Pinkerton. That's going to be another big old fat soon. we need to do a bit of alteration on this one. So we're gonna work on this one until it'll be done when it's done. Got to tweak this guy. Got to tweak this guy. No idea these are coming out, but this is the direction we're going. We're trying to do some really good designer models. We're really working our angles to make some unique and interesting products from Artisan, and we're trying some new things. We want this next year to be about extra innovation, good products, and sourcing designers that have amazing designs. And we're just really happy to start off a year like this.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for your time.
Actually, thank you so
Look
much for coming
forward to
by.
seeing these.
Great to see you again. Thank you for stopping by. Check out artisancutlery.com and CGRB. Have a good day.